Welcome back. Epic Games is now accusing Google of monopolizing the Android App Store market and claims this harms both developers and customers. Now, it's not the first legal battle of its kind, but its outcome could set a precedent for how digital marketplaces are regulated in the future.
Well, Professor of Advanced Media in Residence at the Newhouse School of Public Communication, Shelly Palmer, is here with his insight this morning. And Shelly, how might large app developers like Epic Games, the developers behind Fortnite, because they kicked this whole lawsuit off. Can you talk about how developers will impact Google's Play Store now?
Well, look, this is wonderful for developers. Google's been taking a 30% chop out of every in-app purchase and, of course, for every download where somebody paid money. So it's going to be wonderful for Epic Games and every independent last year. So this is a big, big business. Obviously, Google fought hard, but they lost. And while they will appeal at the moment, things are going Epic's way and consumers' way, too. Google's not going to be allowed to pay companies to launch apps anymore. They're not going to be able to pay people not to compete with the Google Play Store. They're going to have to let third-party Android app stores not only exist, but they're also going to have to be shown in the Google Play Store. So a third-party app developer is going to have a lot of different choices as to where they can sell their wares. Epic, of course, will do their own store, and so will a lot of other very large game suppliers. So this is going to be really good for consumers. I think it's really bad for Google. The only downside, security might be an issue, and Google argued that in their lawsuit. But I think mostly everybody feels like Google's good at security, and this is just going to work out. They were mostly fighting for the money, and in this case, the little guys won.
You led me into this next question. How does Google vet these third-party apps?
There's going to be a three-person committee that's going to sort of oversee how this gets done. And my suspicion is that this is going to take a little bit of time to work out, mostly because while they're ordered to do it by the court, I don't think Google is going willingly. They're going kicking and screaming. This is a big, big chunk of change out of their pocketbook. But that said, again, this is going to work out extremely well for consumers. And hopefully the Google appeal is not successful, because if it is, they're going to have to reverse all of this, and it's going to get really strange. And they'll just have a lot of confused consumers. And I'm a little surprised about the way they're talking about getting this done. But right now, everybody should just get ready. We're about to see some third-party app stores for Android apps. We're about to see developers make a little more money, which will incentivize them to develop more games. So on balance, I think this is going to be exceptionally good for everybody.
Like, Google has to kick this into high gear, right? I mean, they have to start this by November, next month. I know they wanted additional time, but the court said, no, this needs to be done next month. So what happens next if they can't adhere to that deadline?
Yeah, it's a great question, but my suspicion is they will adhere to the deadline. This isn't hard to do. It's just something they didn't want to do for financial reasons. And Epic has been fighting this. By the way, they're fighting Apple exactly the same way. That suit hasn't been determined yet. But ultimately, this may set a little precedent. What I think is going to happen is some big tech organizations like Apple and Google are going to have to bend to the wills of the content creators. And this is a good thing, because it incentivizes people with great ideas to go out there and make the games that everyone enjoys, and make the apps that people enjoy, and not have to pay 30 cents on a dollar for every single penny they make as kind of rent and ransom. So there's two ways to think about it. The way I think about it is from the consumer's point of view. There'll be more choice, more places to get your games and your apps, and it should generally be a more competitive marketplace, which is always better.
Shelly Palmer, always great to see you. Thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure. You guys take care.
You too, Shelly.